Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is the recorded on Wednesday, airing on Thursday, March 18th, 2021. 2K21. That was cool back in the day. Instead of the year 2000, you used to say 2K. Yeah, I'm dating myself. All right, you can find me on both Twitter and TradingView at CryptoBullGod. And I also would like to start a new segment if a few of my followers want to volunteer on this and participate. What I'm going to be looking to do is adding a new segment to my next podcast where basically I'll answer a question. So you can email me at cryptobullgod@gmail.com. So the questions can be really anything. You could ask me questions about cryptocurrency. It could be something related to working out. Clearly, I like to work out a lot. I post things here and there about it. It could be anything. It could be anything about me, anything you're curious about. It could be about my profession as an actuary. I would say the only subjects that I will not entertain would be politics. I'm cynical about that, so I won't spend time talking about politics. And religion, just because it can be a sensitive topic, so I'd rather just stay clear of it. But besides that, feel free to email me at cryptobullgod@gmail.com, and hopefully starting next episode, so episode 5 at some point when it airs next week, I can take a good question and respond to it on the podcast. So in today's podcast, I'm going into my TA video. In today's video, what we're going to do is look at the charts. What we're going to do is we're going to give a quick market update. We're going to take a look at some key charts that I'm zeroing in on. Going to discuss 3 big altcoin movements that have added nicely to my portfolio. We'll talk about that. We'll get into the chart of the week. Get into something a little bit more motivational, more of a motivational topic, and then end on something somewhat entertaining. So, with that being said, let's actually first just take a look at where we're sitting on the Bitcoin chart. So, one of the things that I had tweeted about, something that I want everyone to be mindful of, just kind of moving forward. I had sent something out on Twitter. Again, I'm at CryptoBullGod if you're not following me on Twitter. There's no doubt that the market's extremely bullish, and typically what I like to do when I'm helping my audience to kind of assess what's going on and how they may want to sort of look at the market, I always zoom out. So one of the charts I had shared was a monthly view on Bitcoin. And so there were kind of 2 key things I pointed out there. First off, we're only, roughly 3 times our prior all-time high. And if we use history as any indicator, you can kind of discern that we're nowhere near a top at this point. That's not to suggest, as I've said in the past, that we're going to have a similar percentage move up from the prior all-time high as we've seen in the past, but we're nowhere near our all-time high right now. We haven't entered the part of the cycle that we'll see massive moves up. We're getting very close to it, but we're not there. But there were 2 key things in this monthly chart that I pointed out, so I want you guys and gals to pay attention to. First, look at the RSI. I pointed out a local top there that we've historically had, areas that you really want to pay attention to. I believe it's around looks like the 96 to 97 level, but follow me on Twitter for that chart. The other thing I pointed out is, look, we're in the midst right now of printing our 6th straight green monthly candle. At some point, we're going to get a red monthly candle. It is going to happen. So, not saying that for the month of March we can't move up. That's my steamed broccoli in the microwave that you hear beeping in the background. So I'm not saying that we can't continue to move up for this month. But it is something to be mindful of, is that at some point we will see a red month. So just something to pay attention to. In these cyclical bull markets, we also see a lot of volatility, a lot of things to shake people out. But if you remain unemotional, you yourself can read a chart, you know what's going on, you kind of see big picture perspective about what's coming in the pipeline for the next few months here in terms of how much of a potential we have in the trillions of dollars to reach within the cryptocurrency market. And if you're following valuable content creators like myself, then hopefully that kind of puts your emotions at rest there. I am very, very hungry. So here's what's on my dinner for this evening, in case anybody is curious. This is an indication of how I eat every night, but some nights I don't mind going vegan. So this evening on the CryptoBullGod's dinner menu, some steamed broccoli. On a bed of arugula, I am grilling up some Beyond Burgers, grilled up some onions and peppers. I'm going to throw that on there, spritz on some lime, and then cilantro. To the degree possible that I can, I put cilantro on everything. I love cilantro. I'm very, very hungry right now, so it's hard not to think about food. Anyway, let's get back to these charts. So that's the Bitcoin chart. Let's look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. So again, I've tweeted about this several times. I don't want to repeat the same thing. Look, just look for what you want to look for here. Gotta put that on normal view. Look, Bitcoin dominance is dropping, okay? There are signs that the amount of market cap that altcoins are making up is getting higher and higher and higher if you look at some of the charts I've posted, right? So the key levels you want to look for is you want to see Bitcoin dominance start to drop to that 57 to 50 to 52% level. Once we drop below 50%, even if we, well, not if, once we get down to that 57, 52, 50 level, we're going to have some major runs in altcoins, but watch for that 50% level to break. That's when shit's going to get real interesting. So keep an eye on that. I try to update everyone as it makes sense on Twitter. And again, I don't, I post things when it makes sense, or I tweet things when it makes sense. I put out videos on YouTube. You can follow me there, CryptoBullGod as well, when it makes sense. I don't like to put garbage out and rehash the same things. I know there's a lot of content creators out there. There's a lot of valuable content creators out there, don't get me wrong, but there's some out there that just want to put money in their pockets, so they put out any garbage video they can so that it fills their pockets because it's their full-time job, right? And they count on that revenue source. Let's look at the total. Oh, wow. Let's look at the total altcoin market cap. So this is the total market cap of all of cryptocurrencies, all of every single project that's out there, excluding Bitcoin. Posted this a few times. We're getting very, very close to breaking that 703, $702 billion level. So keep an eye on that. I've posted about it. We are knocking on heaven's door, like I mentioned. So once we break that level, you see the dominance on Bitcoin start to drop. Things are going to get really, really interesting. So speaking of interesting, I had quite a few tweets on this, and the movements right now on these three look pretty solid. Man, I am so happy that I have HBAR, Mana, and one of the best songs ever by Metallica, within my portfolio. Now, if you were here for Chart of the Week on episode 2, at that point I had mentioned Mana to you and how beautiful the market structure looked. And it's done like a 4x since then. So hopefully, you can't always, obviously you don't want to invest based on someone else's opinion. You want to formulate your own opinion. But if you value a content creator's assessment of a cryptocurrency project, it should at least make you want to take a look at it, right? So I'll give you a great example. HBAR. HBAR is increasingly becoming a much larger part of my portfolio. Well, there were two analysts, okay? There were two analysts. I got to think through if I want to start naming specific analysts on any content that I create. But if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see who I sort of value and who I engage with. But there were two content creators in general who kind of pointed me in the direction of HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph. And since then, I started investing, and I'll tell you what, I've been real happy. The HBAR has made a major move up right now and is looking real pretty. Same with One, okay? Ticker ONE. I did not discover that, And this is where it gets into a tweet that I put out there on Twitter that, look, as much value as I add, hopefully, to your assessment of the market and decisions you're making, look, guys, I mean, I also value the input that you have, right? So someone pointed me in the direction of one, looked into it, looked into the project, looked into the market structure that was being created on the charts. And I said, look, I got to throw a little bit at this thing. And I've been very, very happy with the movements that took place this week. So hopefully at least one or two of those crypto projects are within your portfolio. Again, it's HBAR, Mana, and One. The price movements this week have been literally explosive. Even I couldn't believe some of the movements I was seeing and how my portfolio looked this week. It's amazing because when you study the market as much as I have, you have a very good sense in terms of where the market's going. But when it actually comes fruition, it brings things to another level, that realization of kind of dollar-wise how your things look, or how your investments look. So quite a week. And by the way, for the ones that haven't really run yet, for some of these alts that haven't run yet that I've posted about, I did indicate, I posted a few charts out there for, in particular, XLM, Dash. Link is having a real nice day today based on the Grayscale news. There's another alt out there that I haven't posted about recently, but I've certainly posted about quite a bit in the past, which is Uniswap, another favorite of mine. For some of these alts, there's going to be a rotation that takes place, okay, where you will see these alts run. And I did tweet about this. Again, this is why I think you should follow me on Twitter. Look, it takes patience. It takes true conviction, knowing what you're buying, okay, and what you're invested in and what the game plan is, and real dedication and patience in order to succeed. If everybody knew exactly when something would move up or move down, like I said earlier today on Twitter, we would all be bazillionaires, okay? Nobody knows that. But what you can do, what TA analysts, or that's sort of redundant, right? Technical analysts can do is we can study prior price movements, current price movements, and make hypotheses regarding the likelihood of future price direction. So that's what I'm aiming to do. Now, with that being said, all right, let's get into the chart of the week. Chart of the week, without question, is... I don't have any special effects. Like, I can't add any special effects in here. I wish I had some. It would, without a question, be HBAR. HBAR, this thing has such beautiful market structure. Take a look at the daily chart. I've posted this a few times. I'll get into that in a second. But if you look at a daily chart of HBAR, it literally just looks like staircase up, stair steps up, right? Higher highs, higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows. This is the basic fundamental thing you want to see as an investor and as a TA person, is you want to see the higher highs and the higher lows. If prices are going higher, ultimately reaching a higher high than the high before it, and then as it corrects and consolidates, the low that's being formed is higher than the previous low. This should intuitively make sense, even if you're not into TA. That's very bullish. The highs are getting larger, and the lows that are being created in the price are getting larger as well, are getting higher. So this is very, very bullish. The USD, and this is often the case with some of these charts, the USD chart is not what I'm most excited about. If you take a look at the HBAR BTC chart, which I've tweeted about, I think some pretty exciting things are going to happen here. I do feel like there is a strong likelihood that what's going to happen for the HBAR BTC chart is we're going to break the prior all-time high on the chart and start to entertain the fib extensions, like the 1.618, the 2.618, and if we're fortunate, even higher. And so that's really what you want to look out for. And I didn't get a stronger response when I entertained the idea, threw it out to everyone, that, hey, do you think it would be helpful for me to make a video on how to read Bitcoin pairing charts, like the XRP BTC chart, the XLM BTC chart. Would you find that to be helpful? And I would say a large majority did respond saying it would be helpful, but not as large a majority as I thought. I think at some point it would make sense still to put a video out there, because I think there is a general misconception, especially among individuals who are not as mathematically inclined. So when they look at a chart like that, like a HBAR BTC chart, I don't know that a lot of people are interpreting it correctly. So I think it might be helpful to put out a video on that, and I might do that at some point. But basically, when you're looking at the HBAR BTC chart, essentially what you're looking at is you're looking at the strength of HBAR in relationship to Bitcoin. That's all you're doing. That's all you're looking at. So it's not a straight US dollar chart. It's just looking at the strength of HBAR in relation to Bitcoin. So yes, if you are not invested in HBAR, I would strongly suggest to scale in a little bit here, and then also look at my tweet on the golden box that I tweeted about for consolidation. Potential zone I'm looking for, I believe it's between roughly 30 cents and 22 cents. It looks like we wicked down to the 29 cent area, so we already wicked into that golden zone. So, the smartest thing you can do, that's another really good point. The smartest thing you can do is not try to, I've said this so many times, don't try to outsmart the market. Especially during times like this. We are entering an extremely parabolic time, okay? This is the time. It's like, for those that were here back in 2018, think of it this way. Just when you thought something couldn't go lower, it went lower. And you were like, oh my God, I didn't think it would go that low. And you'd look at the price and you're like, well, now's a good time to buy. And then it would go 15% lower, okay? We're in the opposite of that. We're at the point where it goes high and you're like, cripes, I can't believe it went that high. And then it shoots up another 20%. And then it drops 5%. It gives you this 5% area, and then it shoots up 30%. We're in that time right now. This is the time we're in, okay? So I think it's quite possible that we could hit this golden pocket, quite possible, but it's not a guarantee. So the smartest thing you can do is say, okay, let's say, for instance, here's an example. This is not financial advice, all right? This is just me giving you a logical strategy. If you really wanted to get into HBAR right now, the smartest thing you could do, let's say you have, I'll use an even number to make this easy. You have $90. Put 30 in right now. Then wait to see if we get to a higher area within this golden box, maybe between, I don't know, anywhere between 27 and 30 cents. Put another 30 bucks in. Reserve the other $30 to see if we get some sharp volatility, go all the way down anywhere near the 22 cent range. Okay, anywhere maybe between 25 to 22 cents. If we don't hit that area and prices begin to accelerate and move up, there's an opportunity there for you to just consider getting in there or waiting for another pullback. But that's how I would play it at this point. And that's why, I mean, for me personally, that's why I was buying at such low levels, is now I don't have to worry about that. I have more than enough in HBAR, and it's appreciated to a value that I'm more than happy with as a percentage of my portfolio. So I'm not really looking to get in anymore. But if you are looking to, that's sort of the approach I would take. Scale in 30 here, wait for potentially a pullback between maybe 30 to 27 cents, another 30. And then, you could reserve another 30 to see perhaps we get as low as anywhere between 25 to 22 cents. That's how I would personally play it. But if we start to move in another parabolic fashion, you never want to chase a parabolic movement. So I hope I didn't confuse anyone earlier. I mean, you don't want to take that last $30 and buy in when it's at 60 cents as it's going up. I mean, you really want to wait for pullbacks. No matter what, you want to wait for pullbacks. You don't want to buy into FOMO. You don't want to FOMO. So something I wanted to quick touch on real quick before we get to a funny story is just something surrounding motivation. I've really been enjoying this week. I had one of the best weekends that I've had in a long time this past weekend. And just really wasn't in front of the charts. I was outside a lot, doing a lot of things. And I've also taken some time away from work this week, so I haven't been working, and I haven't been in front of the charts as much, and I've just tried to be outside enjoying the weather. And one of the things I'm mindful of, and I think about it in my career, and I think about it when I'm outside and I see people, don't let your health go. Don't let your health go. No matter how much time you spend game planning for your financial future, and I know that's invaluable, guys. I know, and gals, I know that's invaluable, but please try to really strike a balance in your life, because what you don't want to have happen, you don't want to wake up in your 30s or 40s and be one of those people that's, looks back on your glory days when you were a teenager or 20s and say, that's how I used to be. And now I'm obese, morbidly obese. I know that's taboo. Nobody likes to use these terms. There's a serious lack of accountability, I think, just in general within the United States, to just own up to things and call a spade and call it for what it is. This country, and I can tell you, I work in life mortality as an actuary. I've looked at mortality studies. The United States, it's an epidemic. It's an epidemic with, in general, the emphasis that is placed on one's financial success and whatever the American dream is, whatever you want to define that as, the sacrifices that you make to make a dollar bill. I think there's a notion out there, unfortunately, that money buys happiness, and it's not true. And a lot of people sacrifice their physical well-being for their financial well-being. And I can tell you from experience that if your physical well-being is in strong standing, it has so many tremendous impacts on your overall life. It provides you with a sense of clarity and direction in your life. You feel focused. You feel full of life. You feel more positive person. And let me ask you this question. Let me pose this question to you. What good is money if you die 20 years earlier than you otherwise wouldn't have had you lived a healthy life? The whole reason I'm bringing this up is because I think of it at work sometimes. I talk to some people at work that really have jeopardized their health over the years. And it's tough. When you go through the actuarial exams, it's really basically like when you're going through the exams, you're literally working two full-time jobs. I'm not kidding. These exams are no joke. That's why I would say, inarguably, being an actuary is the most difficult profession, at least to get credentialed, that I know of. It's a shit ton of self-studying, a lot of self-sacrifice there. You're working two jobs. I mean, you're working at least, at different points, at least 80 hours a week. So brutal. But, for myself, I never jeopardized working out. It helped to create a balance for me. It really helped to clear my mind and help me to stay focused and kind of split up my day. So I never stopped working out. I've been working out for consistently for more years than many of you have been alive, because I think I'm older than probably some of you think. So, I would just encourage you that no matter how busy life becomes, how busy the family gets with kids, you have to make time for yourself, and that positivity that you bring to your own personal life and your physical well-being, it will feed off to others around you. It'll feed off to your family. It'll feed off to your kids, to your husbands or wives. Hopefully not wives. Hopefully you're married to just one. But I guess, there is polygamy out there, right? I don't want to be judgmental, but it seems kind of weird to me. So your husband or wife, that's what I'm going to say. Sorry for any polygamists. Is that the term out there? I'm more of a one-woman man. Again, just like last podcast, call me old-fashioned. I want a nice, straight woman. One woman. I don't need any women on the side. I don't need to be married to 6 women. I just need one woman. Anyway, so I'm getting sidetracked. But anyway, guys, please pay particular attention to your health. You don't need to be crazy about the gym and work out as much as someone like myself or diet real crazy. It's just all about moderation, you know. Make sure you're being active every week. Make sure you're getting some form of exercise. Some people don't even like being in a gym. That's fine. You know, make sure you're going for a bike ride, or you're actively involved in a sport, or you do yoga. You eat a nice balanced diet. I mean, these things will have a tremendous impact on your life and the lives of those around you. You can't believe it. Because the thing that I'm not trying to be insensitive, I'm just going to be very transparent with you. The thing that really bothers me is when you have a family where the parents are morbidly obese. I mean, morbidly obese. And those horrible, addiction to food is like anything else. You can be addicted to alcohol, you can be addicted to drugs, and addiction to bad food is horrible. The thing is, it's much more visibly apparent, right? You can see it on someone who is addicted to food. It's unfortunate because it's very physically apparent. You can see it. Whereas with alcoholism and a drug addiction, it may not be as readily apparent on the surface. But the thing that really upsets me, this is the thing that really gets to me, is if you're going to do physical harm on yourself and you want to be addicted to food, so be it. It's your life. You're an adult. But guess what? Now when you feed it off to your kids are way too young. They're way too young not to be able to discern what is right and wrong. And so now you have these fat, chubby kids walking around that are 50 pounds overweight, and it's a horrible situation, and it's the thing that no one wants to talk about. We can't talk about this. We have to be real PC and sensitive, and not just have a serious conversation about it. So now your bad habits, okay, as a parent, are now feeding off to your kids. And they're kids, and they know no better, and that just burns me up to know that, man, it's like it's hereditary. It's like it feeds off, and it just upsets me. You get control. I'm telling you, it can be easy in life to get addicted to anything. I understand that. I guess I should say maybe I don't understand that. Hopefully, there's not anything that I know of that I'm addicted to, but I at least get it. I get it that in general you could get addicted to anything, and it's a bad situation to be in. But take some ownership if you're in that situation and get yourself out of it. You know, so please, if you're doing a good job and you're staying active, I'm happy for you. And you know, if you want to email me, hey, if you're in a situation, if you're in a tough spot, you know, and you don't know where to kind of start and how to look at things, I'm happy really to help you. I think. I'm not sure how I come across to people, but you know, I try to bring humor to the space, but I am a very authentic person, and if there's any help even outside of cryptocurrency I can provide to you, if you need any thoughts on any of this stuff and kind of getting started, let me know. So speaking of being active today, one of the things I did was take a bike ride. I took a bike ride today, you know, during quarantine. I did a ton of bike riding. I accumulated so many miles. I'm a planner by nature, very much a planner. One of my challenges is being more spontaneous in nature. I could use a little bit of that in my life, spontaneity. Very much a goal setter and a planner. And so thankfully I planned ahead before all the lockdowns. I got a whole weight set and was working out from home. And, you know, for cardio, I was doing bike rides, and I love making things challenging, so I was doing sprint intervals on bike rides and doing all these fun things. And so I did a lot of bike riding, made it very competitive, logged everything on Strava. I accumulated a ton of miles. And I hadn't done bike riding in months, so I really just wanted to go out today. Someone actually motivated me with the idea to go out bike riding, so thank you to that person if you're listening. But anyway, so I went on a bike ride, and it's funny, I live in South Florida. I'm not going to say specifically where I live, but I live in a safe area. I really do. But it's funny, and I think it's like this in a lot of places that you live in. You take a wrong corner, and you're literally in the ghetto. Like I'm riding around, and I've never seen so many food marts in my life. Like shady food marts. Shady. I'm not talking quaint and cute and little, you know, local, support your local business. I would not be caught dead at these places. Like I biked a little faster. Like when I saw the food marts that I saw, I biked a little faster to get past those bike marts. bike marts? Food marts. There was one place I drove by, it said something like General Food Store number 4. Judging by the looks of the place, there shouldn't have been 4 of these stores. Making 4 of these things were 4 bad decisions. There shouldn't have been one to begin with. I mean, it looked like there wasn't really any food being perhaps sold at these places. Maybe every form of drug that you could possibly think of. And I couldn't help it when I was... Some of these places were really rough. Read between the lines. I was the only one of my kind driving through the neighborhood, and I was definitely getting a lot of looks. So I pedaled a little faster, and I couldn't help it. Maybe it was the 8-year-old kid in me from way back in the day when I used to watch this TV show. But this is literally what went through my head as I was driving through. It was a warm day on March 17th, 2021. The CryptoBullGod went out for a bike ride that he would not return to. Yeah, that is what went through my head. I gotta tell you, as a kid, watching Unsolved Mysteries, I'm gonna date myself, but watching that thing when I was a kid, so basically like 16 years old, I was scared out of my mind. No, I'm just kidding. I was not 16 years old, scared out of my mind. Right. No, I was more like 8 years old. I was 8 years old, and this show just freaked me out. How could it not? Robert Stack and like coming out from the smoke, and like some of the videos they put together were pretty epic and classic. This show was going through my mind as I'm riding through on this one road. I was like, I need to get out of here. So I was trying to find my way to a park that I was told was located in the area, and I definitely took a wrong turn. So I got back on the right track. Actually turned into a great day. I had a great bike ride. I was out there for like almost an hour and a half. I finally found the park, felt a lot more safe. And it was actually a really nice area. It was a really nice area. It was close to the beach. But it is funny. I'm sure that perhaps you can relate to this, that, you might be located in a really safe area like I really am. I live in a gated community. I've never gotten the sense that it's unsafe here. It's a good demographic around here. But literally half mile up the road, not too far from where you're at, maybe a mile up the road, it is definitely a different story. So we're not going to go on that road again. I'm definitely going to avoid that at all costs and know what the most efficient route is to get to the park again when I drive there next. So get out there, enjoy the weather, hopefully, unless you live in the Northeast. And then I guess to hell with the weather and you curse your life and wish you were living in South Florida. So in closing, I really hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. Again, email me at cryptobullgod@gmail.com for a question. I'll definitely have a new segment next week for a good question. It could be anything. Again, it doesn't need to be cryptocurrency. Just avoid religion and avoid politics, all right? I'm not talking any of those subjects. It could be anything. Ask me any question you want. But anyway, send me an email, CryptoBullGod. Give me a follow on Twitter, TradingView, and YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Share the content. Please, if you value the content. Leave a comment, like the video. It all helps with the algorithm. So in closing, please join me in a moment of silence for all of those I attempted on multiple occasions to get into crypto and have remained ignorant. Thank you.